So I'm Anthony Le Suisse, CTO of Odoo, and I'm very happy to welcome here Octave Klaba, who's
Hello.
the founder of OVH, and has a special place in my heart because I started using OVH servers probably 20 years ago, and we've been using them since a long time, and we started Odoo with OVH servers. So special place in my
Happy
heart.
to see how our customers they have success, worldwide success.
And he wanted to talk about AI, and because there is a lot of hype around AI nowadays, and you want maybe to summarize and explain for people who heard about it but don't realize what it can achieve for them, or they can enable that. So maybe we can start first with the history. What happened to AI recently? Why is it becoming so mainstream? What's the thing that happened recently?
So there was a lot of, as you said, there was a lot of hype about the AI, but still having in mind that AI didn't start 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It was
because in the mind of people they think
yeah,
it's recent.
but there was some. We will talk about that. There was some new things about AI, but it existed for the long time before AI that we know from the ChatGPT now. Before we call that machine learning. There was deep learning. There was the different things to extract the patterns from the different databases, etc. But
what I think if you go back, the first neural networks, they go back even to the 60s. I think.
It's a long journey, but there was four really ingredients to deliver AI in the global way. It's the first. It's the data. You need the data. So now we now understand what data means because of this LLM and the ChatGPT. We hear about a lot of kind of the discussions about the royalties, about the copyright, etc. So we need
the data exists and we can scrap it.
Yeah. So those data. The second, it's the algorithm. We need the algorithm to use on this data, and we have some kind of new algorithm that was just started 2 years ago. There was another, it's infrastructure. You need GPUs. So now we understand how important they are, the data centers, the GPUs, the things that we don't see usually. Because it's really behind that.
It used to be that GPU were just for mining bitcoins.
or playing.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
As the owner of the Shadow, we use GPUs to stream. Okay, but it's not the only way to use the GPU. And the last one, that is probably the most important right now, is the people.
Okay.
You need the skilled people. And to glue all that together and to deliver this new kind of the LLM, new kind of the AI that we have that for the last 2 years.
And do you think there is still some missing step to go even beyond that, to the next level?
So there was one thing that's really changed last years. It's really about the scale of the GPUs.
Okay.
So
it's a hardware problem.
So the issues that we had before, it was, okay, the GPUs, that's great, but we need to train the models of so much data that there was no infrastructure to do that. So there was different improvement on the hardware, but not only on the hardware. It was combination of the hardware and the software. There were NVIDIA, specifically they invested a lot of money in the A100, H100, now there's BH200, etc. So we have this scale of the hardware, but hardware connected all together. So that changed a lot of things about how we compute the data. And then you can compute more data. And this is roughly what changed last 3-4 years, the scale of the GPUs that can work together.
Okay, so maybe now you can talk about the fact that it's available for everybody. How what has changed is that anybody can use this technology. What happened?
If you see that's the very big revolution about using all this data. But behind, what does it mean behind? Behind, to train the models, about 2 years ago, you needed about 5,000, 10,000 GPUs together.
Okay.
10,000 GPUs together is something like about 10 megawatts
of power.
of power in the data center, and that means that you need something about 50 million to
Okay.
invest and to train the models. That changed 1 year ago,
Okay.
1 year and 1 year and a half. Then we scaled by 10. So we started to talk about 100,000 GPUs working together. That means that you put on the table about 5 billion.
Okay.
And you need a data center about 100 megawatts. And
Okay.
you hear that a
Yeah.
lot right now. In the last weeks, months, Elon Musk invested just in 100,000 GPUs.
Okay.
And there was a data center about 100 megawatts
Yeah.
with 5 billion.
Okay.
If you see the announcement about 1 year ago, something like that, it was that. And also on OpenAI, they did that probably 1 year ago and a half in Texas with 5 billion. Now we're talking about another scale. It's 1 gigawatt of the data center, 1 million GPUs, and 50 billion of
So
dollars
1 gigawatt of power.
of power. Yeah. So,
So
that
one,
means
one nuclear power station.
few
Yeah.
of them, 2 or 3 of them,
Yeah.
that
Okay.
you need to just have the data center, the space, with, and then you have to fill, you have to buy the GPUs, but you cannot buy 1 million GPUs in 1 year.
No. Okay.
Okay, because the production of the NVIDIA is not enough. So, and those few companies that they want that.
And do you compete also? Is it tough the
So-
competition for like
So maybe
OVH
we'll talk
getting
about,
the
about
okay,
how
okay.
the
Okay.
Europe will,
Yeah.
how as the Europeans we can fight. But just to explain the scale, because of this new algorithm, the data that we train scales a lot, can scale. Before this algorithm, they didn't scale a lot, but because in the first steps we trained just the text.
Mhm.
Now, because we have more GPUs, we can train also on the images.
Yeah, you can talk about the multimodality
Yeah, the
aspect.
multimodal. So maybe I prepare a little a video
Yeah.
just to show you what I mean about
You
the.
can show the screen, yeah.
So on the multimodal, it's just different kind of the inputs and the different kind of the outputs. So usually I talk about 5 of them. Okay, so text, audio, you have speech, image, and video. And output, you still have the 5 the same. It's text, audio, video, and sound and the speech. And what does it mean? So usually text to text, what it is? Okay, you have the translation. You have summarization of the text. You have generation of the text. Okay, so you have the things that you know from ChatGPT perspective. Okay, so some examples that there's the video.
The video doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
Easy connected.
But it's okay. Maybe next page. So then you have image to text. So roughly what this is, you have the image recognition. Okay, what is on the image? You have the dogs, you have the tables, you have different things. You have also in the healthcare. For example, if you want to discover the cancers, you take a lot of images from the radiologic perspective, and you find the patterns in the images. So maybe we can, you have this kind of the images also from the healthcare perspective. Then you have, for example, this is an example that it's really fun. If you have the demonstration is from video to video. What does it mean? So on the top you have the real video that someone just made, and then you have just the LLM that changed the video to another kind of video.
Yeah.
So just to explain you about this 5 kind of the inputs and 5 kind of the outputs. So, well,
Yeah.
So that changed a lot of things about the ChatGPT and the way that this AI is available for the people. You know.
And what do you think are the future trends in this multimodal applications.
But what is really fun that it existed before because it existed in the way on the AI, APIs. So as the OVH, we had a lot of customers. So some of them they invested, for example, the image to text,
Okay.
to image, and they had just one API or two APIs. And the train that you ask, it's what changed a lot. It's that you have a prompt,
Yeah.
and you don't need to have all this complexity
Okay.
about the choosing the right API
Okay.
behind.
You don't need to be a developer to
You
query
do-
those APIs.
exactly. This is the way that democratization of the AI was proposed to
So,
the
so it's we put the tool in reach of everybody because of the prompt.
because of the prompt, because just the one API that can understand the prompt.
Yeah.
So if you think in the old way, it can be just a way that you try to understand prompt and to redirect to the right
Yeah.
API. It's
Yeah.
not working this way, of course, because you have one LLM that is explaining that, but the agents,
Yeah.
for example, this is the way. You ask the LLM for something, you have the outcome, and then you ask LLM for something different, maybe a different one, and then
Yeah.
you have the actions, one after another, to bring you what you really need. So all that before, as you said, you had to be the developer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now you can just prompt, so everybody can prompt. Everybody can understand this kind of the development very easy. Just asking in the right way the Chat GPT or others LLM to have the outcomes.
And so, from a more practical point of view, how can companies start to use this kind of tool, like?
So there's, from my perspective, there's two ways to use
Yeah,
that.
if you have to advise a specific company, not a specific, any kind of company.
So you have, from my perspective, there's, if you are more in the office, okay?
Yeah.
In the office. So we have two ways to do that. The first is to add additional screen. And I call that in the direct way. Okay, you have an additional screen with all these smart tools.
Okay.
And this is your
You
job.
continue to work, but you
Exactly.
query.
Okay, so you have your usual tools.
And you have your assistant.
You have an additional. So you use that to help you every day. And this is where we have a lot of buzz because all these freelancers, all these developers, all the people that has enough skills to just to prompt, they started to use these new technologies just to bring more value, create faster, use all these technologies and to have the better outcome. But it is direct mode. I would say that there is another, this is indirect mode.
Yeah.
And that means that you have your tools. You don't have this additional screen, but your tool integrated AI. And this is also a challenge for you guys. Okay, because in the tool that you offer for your customers, you have to integrate all the AI and to bring more value for your customers.
And what do you think are the challenge when you implement this kind of solution? The challenge for companies?
There was different kind of the challenges. There was first, it's really cost.
Okay.
Okay, because we've been talking about 5 billion, 50 billion. Okay, so from the LLM perspective, it's how you make money.
Yeah.
Okay, and from your perspective, it's saying, okay, I have this technology and use that, I pay, and I create more. So usually, when you talk about this cost, there was a lot of POC in the big companies starting to use AI and trying to automate the things. So there was a lot of more kind of the projects that it was 2-3 years ago, but still we are challenging on the cost and the complexity to integrate all that. And so we have about 2 to 3 projects on 10 that really can go to production.
Yeah.
And there was about 7-8 that is really complex.
And it's not worth the cost.
It's of course of the cost, but also of the complexity. And then, as the company, you have to ask yourself, okay, you have a company, you have 100 people, 1,000 people, 10,000 people, 5,000 people, and the question for you is, okay, I have this tool that allows me to have more productivity.
Yeah.
What will happen for the company? Will we grow faster? Because the market is extendable, or our market is not extendable. So that means that you will still grow in the same way that before, but you will just reduce your cost.
Yeah, okay.
That means that you have the transformational company. Let's say that in this world, you
Yeah.
have people that you don't need.
Yeah.
Okay, or you have people that allows you to deliver more growth in the future. So this is huge questions that the lot of companies they have, how to use this improvement of the performance in for the next months, next quarters, and how to use the people.
Yeah. And to come back a bit to the story of VH, about cloud provider in Europe, do you
Yeah.
think there is some specific role to play in this area?
So definitely yes. Now, as I said, the investment they are very big. Okay, it's not really a question of the investment. It's how to
also, don't we have to split the investment that we do to do the training
yeah.
and the one that we do to the inference?
You have to link that because
but it's not the same hardware, or is it the same hardware? Because I think there are no chips that are specialized in inference.
So you have the chips for the specifically for the training, but the new chips, the new hardware, it's coming every 18 months.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you invest 5 billion, there was a new hardware 18 months later that it's more.
So that's the thing I don't understand. So how do you manage that from a CapEx
exactly
point of view?
This is the point.
Yeah.
This is the point. So one answer is really you can train your models of the new hardware, and then 18 months later you restart investing in a new hardware for the training, and you can use this old hardware 18 months old. Okay, you can use that for the inference. Okay, and you can use that for the inference during the next 2 years, 3 years. But the cycle of the life of the GPUs, it's no more before, it's between 4 and 5 years. So you have to find a way to make enough money of the cycle of the investment, to have enough revenue to be able to reinvest every 18 months in the hardware, and then to
but
just
that's
to
the
make
same problem for everybody. But is there some specificity in Europe that?
There was one issue that I see that also maybe we can talk. It's that you have all these models that cost a lot of money, and how you will make monetization of that. There was for me two kind of the way. The first, it's like OpenAI. You have the subscription, $20. Okay, it will be 45 or 50 in 2 years. Okay, we all know that.
Don't you think they will get competitor?
Then you have Gemini from Google. You will have you have a Copilot from Microsoft.
Or even open source model that people could run for just the price of the.
Exactly. So you have that, and for me it's the first way of monetization. It's having the large scale of people that will not pay 10,000 euro or 100,000 euro per month. Just subscription for $20, $50, $30, etc. We don't have that in Europe. Okay, there was just 4 or 5 companies worldwide
that do an application,
that doing something on the SaaS. Okay, subscription. You have the access, and then having the large scale of the users. We don't have that in Europe. Okay, and then you have on the let's say more business B2B market, that people they are ready to pay the private infrastructure to run the models, because the data they are so sensitive.
They want to keep it inside the company.
Exactly.
Private,
this is where we are playing.
And they have maybe specific issue they want to train on something very specific to.
It's fine tuning. Okay, and this is where we are playing. Okay. So customers usually when they want to use LM for the very sensitive questions. Okay, or using
internal data from the
data to fill that in the model. You don't want to share that with OpenAI, but because you know that OpenAI and all others really
they will integrate it in their model.
Of course. Okay, every input that you put will finish as the output few months after.
Yeah.
for everybody.
Yeah.
So everything that you know, everything that you developed as the coder, okay, you open source, but there was lot of companies that they don't open
Yeah,
source.
yeah. We are a special company. right?
Okay, but so the asset is code.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so if they put that in the
Yeah.
model, they don't
They
have asset
actually are
anymore.
afraid to use Copilot because they think maybe Copilot will scrape, and the people are starting to get afraid of pushing on GitHub, even on private repository, because they think, okay, Microsoft might be using it to train their
Of
models.
course, there was a lot of examples that in this way. But there was
But you know that Odoo is very special for that too, because we have an open source product, but compared to many SaaS platforms like Salesforce, etc., you can choose to run Odoo on your own hardware and
Yep.
your own basement, and that's a selling point for some company too. Yeah.
in those. So we've been talking about everything about the data. So
Yeah.
it's, let's say, the people in the office. But there was also another revolution that will happen in the, let's say, factories. So everything that is factories is this blue collar.
Yeah.
Okay, on the blue collar you have robotization, you have autonomous cars, you have drones, you have a lot of things that will happen. This is more complex, even more complex than the first one, because the data, you don't just compute and use the data. You need to interact directly, geographically,
Yeah.
somewhere.
So it has to be local.
And then you have this kind of the challenges, how to connect, how to
Yeah.
use.
And so you think OVH will be able to play this role as a provider for specific business, guaranteeing their privacy of data?
Yeah, there was some products that we started to develop 1 year ago. We just released the first version of the. For example, we can deploy our racks or our technologies. 25 years of work. Okay,
Yeah.
we concentrate that in just one rack, so I can deploy one rack, half of the rack, somewhere with all our technologies and allow customer to have data center management, all the bare metal fundamentals,
Okay.
and then all the public cloud products
Okay.
wherever they want.
And could you apply you use a technology where you cool everything with water at
Yeah.
OVH, and you use it also for GPU?
Of course,
Yeah.
of course. That allows us, to have this half of the OPEX, half of the cap.
Yeah, I know that's one of the secret weapon of OVH.
There was a lot of them, but one of them is definitely that we use less energy, so we pay less energy
Mhm.
to use all our technologies in the data centers. Half.
What you said before is like you would provide not on the cloud, a private cloud, but also really the hardware to company?
Yes. So
That's
we have
okay.
all this public cloud, let's say. You have private cloud,
Yeah.
all in our data centers, but also we are able to
Okay.
deploy that at edge
Okay.
in our customers' data centers, and all this
So
technology.
they would own the hardware, or
No,
they
we
would
own the
lease
hardware.
it? They would lease it.
Yes,
Okay.
hardware and software all managed, and we work for some very sensitive customers.
So you cannot tell the name.
I cannot, but I just can explain that it's so sensitive that they want us to disconnect that from the internet.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So everything to manage this cloud has to be inside of the cloud.
Yeah.
Because we will never see the data center. We'll just deliver the racks, and that's it. It has to work.
And after the lease, if they don't use it, you can recycle them
Yeah,
for
those
inference on the
different kind of
public
the
cloud.
contracts, extensions, different kind of the hardware. But the main thing is that the very sensitive data that of the customers,
Yeah.
they want to use that not just on the hardware in a specific way, but also connected in the network, private network,
Yeah.
isolated, segregated, VPN, the different kind of the securization. That this is the world that we live.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Octave, for this insight.
Thank you for
And
invitation. I hope that was interesting.
about what's happening and also what's happening for OVH in this space. And I was very happy to welcome you. I don't know if we don't have time for questions. No, we have to study. Thank you.
Thank you very much.